Welcome back to Rooted Latinas, your go-to podcast for honest conversations, laughter, and a whole lot of relatable experiences. We're sharing our journey of adapting from a Latino household to life in the U.S., discussing challenges, transforming obstacles, and celebrating personal growth. Welcome back, you guys, to another episode of Rooted Latinas. We're so excited for our guest today. One, because she's just una chingona, a badass woman, leader here in the state of Iowa. And we're just going to dig into multiple questions we have for her. But before we get started, I want to introduce to you guys María Alonzo. How are you, María?
Welcome.
Bien, gracias.
I'm so excited to have you.
Muchas gracias. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah.
We're excited. And there's probably multiple people that know you, have seen you somewhere, have heard of you, either from soccer, on the school board, just a Latina leader in Des Moines. But we want to know a little bit about who is María Alonzo. Where are you from? How did you get here to Des Moines? What are you up to nowadays?
Oh my goodness. Well, I am actually from Tamaulipas, Mexico.
Okay.
I was brought to this country when I was 13.
Wow.
And we actually lived in the valley in Texas for a while. Became migrant farm workers. My siblings and I, when we first arrived. And so I've lived in New York, in Colorado, and we finally ended up staying in Iowa. What brought us to Iowa was detasseling corn.
Okay.
And I'm here. I'm still here.
I love that.
Yeah.
I recently had the pleasure of meeting you a little bit more, and aparte de ser una amazing leader and just Latina inspiring, there's so many things that you're up to nowadays, and we just want to congratulate you that you're running again for school board for another year.
I am running again for Des Moines School Board. It's great work. It's meaningful work. It's important work.
Absolutely.
And if voters want the leadership that I bring to the table, it'll be a commitment for 4 more years. I was elected in 2021.
Yes.
And so my term is up next month. And I don't know, it's, I'm starting to get a little worried. There's a lot that's happening right now, but I've gotten to learn a lot, and I've gotten to really gain insight into what's going on in the district and with students, and the impact that all those changes have in the education that students get. And it's important to be there, and to think that you might not be there, that I might not be there, it saddens me. So we will see. It's good to be there.
You've gotten in the last 4 years, you've gotten the opportunity to see that there's work to be done, more work to be done, right? Especially you're representing our Latinos, right? Our Latino families, the students. Is there work that you have started with the rest of the board that you're like, we just need more time, right? To get some things done to make our schools better?
There's a lot of work for sure to be done. And I think that one of the things that I was worried about when I first came on to be part of the board was the lack of representation that I noticed in the district. And so one of the things that I push at the table on a regular basis, and I am very intentional about being inquisitive, is the effort that we as a district make to have students, leadership, administrators that are reflective of the population that we have in our schools, and that's important. You know, our students should be able, have the right to see themselves wherever they want to be, not just in the classroom sitting. You know, they should be able to see themselves leading a classroom, teaching a class, right? Being the principal of a school. They should be an administrator. They should be able to be in the cabinet or be the superintendent or be on the school board if that's what they want. And for that, I think that it takes intentionality. And I am proud of being able to do that and lifting that up as something that our district needs to consider more seriously.
Absolutely. I think it's powerful being in a position like that because, like you mentioned, sometimes, especially as us growing up Latinas, if we don't see someone that we can relate to or we can see ourselves in, like we can't envision it or we don't see it quite yet. And one of the things, I attended a forum that you did, and what stood out too, it goes along with the question Jamie asked, was 32% of the kids are Latinos. Is that right?
Right.
And that's a whole other reason why it's so important to have somebody like you in that position, because you can relate.
It's right now 32% of the student population is Latinx in our district, and 31 is Caucasian or Anglo-Saxon. I believe it's 22% is African American, and I believe 7 is from our API communities. And we're the majority now in the district. And that's important. That means something. That says something.
Yeah.
And if we are not showing up, if we are staying quiet, then it's hard to be a role model, right? When you have nothing to say and you decide to not be there, to not show up, to not raise your hand and say, I'm here, right?
Yeah.
That's important.
I think with the most recent news of the superintendent and just everyone, you read things online and it's nationwide now, right? And you hear you're getting a lot of support, but you also have those people that are not supportive and they're like, they should fire everyone on the board and this and that, and not knowing you're volunteering your time.
Right.
And it's scary to run again and do it all over again, but you believe, in the work. And so not running would be easier, right?
Right. I mean, running away would be easier.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. It's our board has received, our district really has received a lot of negative attention. And it's sad that the work that has been done in 4 years means nothing, right? And none of that is highlighted, mentioned ever. And the focus becomes, what's happened the last 2 weeks, 3 weeks. That is really concerning to me because that means that we make everything about adults. Right?
Yeah.
What adults want to see, hear, and we forget about the reason that we're there. We're forgetting that we're there to be able to role model, to be able to talk about what kids really truly need. We need to get to know our students better. We need to know who makes up our school district and how it is that we, as a collective, can do better work to maximize what students are able to know and do by the time they leave high school.
Yeah. That speaks a lot. Even just like you said, it would be easier to run and just go back to having all this free time, right? Time you're volunteering to make a difference, but we can see and feel that you believe in that there's a lot more work to be done, and the one thing doesn't define, or diminish anything else that has been accomplished and done this far. What are you excited for if you get reelected? What are you excited to continue
to do? Representation truly matters, right? And that is something that I will continue to do. One of the things, I think personally, as a board, I think that there's a lot of work that needs to be done. There's a lot of challenges coming ahead. But I think that personally, at a personal level, it's really important for me to not just the Latinx community, right, to be able to have better access to information, to be able to be more present and find ways, right, create those avenues for people to be able to get there. But it's all communities, it's all students, right, all populations. I think that when I first came on, it felt like, school board members are able to be there, but you're supposed to represent the vision and values of the community, but you're not really aware of who you're representing. And to me, the relationships that we build are so fundamental, right? That is how people determine whether or not you're trustworthy or not, whether or not the district can help you or truly is there to assist you, to support you. And so developing those relationships, enhancing those relationships with our communities, with our students, but then also stakeholders, service providers in the community that are wanting to support our students and that we, for some reason have not been able to build, to enhance those relationships. So continue relationship building, representation for sure, but then also work on our bond that is right in the ballot for this November. And hopefully the community realizes that our students have a lot of needs, that we as a district can do a lot better by supporting that. And so whether or not that passes, the work has to continue. And so continuing to look for ways to maximize, right, what students can know and do by the time they're done.
Absolutely. I think, Maria, one of the biggest reasons too, like we wanted to start this podcast is because now that, each of us are in a career that was not very represented for our Latino community, now we can make a voice and we can spread awareness and bring value to them, And it also makes me think of like when we have these podcasts, like me being raised in a household with my, immigrant parents, that they never had time to even think about stuff like this that was going on because they were just so worried about their next paycheck, What message, or is there a message that you can deliver to those parents that do need to prioritize this and look into this and how important it is these next elections for their kids?
Right.
What message would you have to them?
It's really important because I was guilty of this. My eyes have been so opened in a way that I never had thought they would be by serving the last 4 years. And I have learned that, things get done when people see you and when people hear you. Right, when you insist, when you're consistent, when you're like, I'm not going anywhere. I know that you guys are tired of seeing me and hearing me, but here I am again. I have the same issue. So what are you going to do about it? When are you going to do something about it? And it's important for our families to understand, for our parents to understand that there is no better advocate for our kids, for our children, than ourselves as parents. Yeah. We know our kids best. We know how they learn. We know the best time that they learn, right? We have so much power. We can influence so much on how they learn, how well they do. It's amazing. But sometimes I think that we depend a lot on teachers, right? The work that teachers do. And teachers do valuable, incredible work. But teachers only see our kids for, a fraction of the day. And then they come home to us. And so what we do, right, and how we choose to spend that time it really determines the quality of education and how well. I mean, we have students right now that are ELL students, right? Just generally the graduation rate for our district could be so much better. But what is it that we as parents are doing? How are we getting involved? And so being involved, knowing, understanding, showing up, right? Emailing the school board and asking questions and demanding. Parents have that right. And so parents have more rights and more power than they believe, than they think they do.
That's very true.
Yeah. You know, I see how you're like your resilience, right? And you're smart and all these things. Like, what has helped you become who you are today? Is it your family? Was it, do you have a role model, mentor, like who do you look up to and who has helped you have like this confidence and being like, you know what, I'm going to go and sit in one of those seats?
Contrary to, I think, what many people believe about school board, serving on a school board is completely voluntary. Yep. It's on a voluntary basis. You're there because you believe that kids can and deserve, right, to be and do whatever they want. Mm-hmm. I think that what the words that keep coming up in my mind are the words of my grandparents. Mm. They raised me, mm-hmm. And I'm gonna cry. Mm-hmm. But I was taught to work hard, always, mm-hmm. And my grandparents taught me to always, ser acomedida, right? To mm-hmm. be helpful in any way. Don't wait, for people to tell you to do something. If you see that you need to get it done, then volunteer, get up and do it. Raise your hand, right? Be of service. And so being on the school board, no, you don't, what we see and the conversations that I have with parents, listening to them and validating their experience and hearing their frustration is far more meaningful than anything. What keeps me there, I think it's those words that will continue to be there. And I am blessed to have had them and to still be able to hear them. Yes.
You give me chills. Literally, you're a rooted Latina. Like, I feel like it's people like you that start paving the way for others to see themselves, right? Because mm-hmm. sometimes it's so easy for us to run away from, just literally say bye and go off and do something else. But like for you to stand here and be like, work is not done. I'm going to do this again, and we can do it with the community, I think is huge. And you said it perfectly, where you get put in situations where you start learning and you start expanding your mind to other opportunities and what needs work and where you can help.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And one of the things that I like to help, right? I'm a social worker, I'm a counselor, and I believe in human relationships. Yep. I believe in people, and I believe in kids, and I believe in serving. And it's so ¿cómo se dice? Gratificante. Mm-hmm. It's so yes, the ¿cómo se dice? My kids always say that, it's so oh my goodness, my word just left.
Fulfilling?
Es otra palabra. It's so, it'll come back. I promise you, it'll come back. It'll come. Yes, it'll come. Yes. Pero es que no hay palabras. There are no words to really describe it. Sí. Me gusta. I believe that si tienes, if somebody has to pay you to do something, then estamos en problemas. Yeah. Right? We've got some issues, right? I don't believe that the work that I do right now helps just one family. I think that the ability to now realize that the work that you do is impactful, right? Systemically, that is something. And it's about, being able to see beyond what you have in front of you, mm-hmm. right? It's about, the way that you want to see your kids grow, how you want to see this community develop and grow, how you want, society, right, to be connected and be resilient and be able to see kids. I see kids now that played in the soccer program and, they're now in college and some graduated. And to be able to see that, gradually see the impact that one person can have, and to now be able to do it at a different, right, on a different level, that's priceless. That is worth so much more.
Yeah. You've been giving back to the community. You talk about, you briefly mentioned soccer, but you started a soccer program, right? Years ago. And that grew, and so you've done a little bit of everything, but she just like slightly mentioned it in there, not giving herself any credit that you started it. And that's how we actually met through on the soccer field, and we were actually on the same team for a minute there, and that was fun. But tell us more about some of the other work you've also done in the community prior, what led you to this now.
Oh my goodness. Well, I think it all started with soccer. Because I worked
our love language.
Yeah. Right.
Our community's love language.
Yes, for sure. I started a program, and it came really out of personal need. I think that's how it grew. I have 3 children, and I remember, my kids would get up in the morning on the weekend, and literally they'd get up and run downstairs because they were going to watch TV and watch cartoons. And it was the fall when we finally thought, you know what, there's something wrong with this. Like, this is not the way it's supposed to work, right? We have to do something, that there's got to be something different, something better. And I kind of wanted to know more about soccer, and I wanted to maybe do better in soccer. I don't know that I ever was able to accomplish that, but for sure, kids could. And I started talking to people that I knew, friends that I knew, and then there was a couple of people that said, you know what, we'll help you, right? We need to do something, for the kids. And so it started as just this idea, right, out of personal need, get kids together and play. And I think we started like with 4 little teams, and one of those first children that played in the very first teams now plays for Grandview University on a scholarship. And it is so, oh my goodness. And we started to grow, right? I mean, our community speaks soccer. We don't speak Spanish. We speak soccer, right? And it grew quite a bit. And eventually we were able to add a league, right, or a division for women. And then, towards the end, we had a division for men. So it became a family affair, right? An entire family affair. And it was great. I loved it. Yes. And yes, we were just talking, right, prior to beginning today, that I saw you play, and times that I miss, for sure.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's been really amazing to hear your story, Maria, and I'm glad our audience got to meet more of you and see how powerful you are. And
Passionate.
The passion
Gracias.
behind what you're doing,
Gracias.
and wanting to help our community, because I think that's ultimately how we continue to grow and support each other. Sometimes we don't know what we don't know, but you find people that know, and you just communicate and grow.
Thank you.
How can our audience, how can everyone support you from here on out? Do you have some social media following?
Get out and vote.
Yes.
Where do we do that?
That would be great. If you are registered to vote and you live in Des Moines, you can vote. So elections are November 4th, but they started today, right? Early voting started today. And I would encourage anyone that believes that their children deserve the best education they can have and be well represented, that they vote, that they consider voting. The decisions that we make as adults truly determine quality of life of our kids.
Yes.
And so it's all on us.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I wanted to add, I know I had asked you this question when we had the forum, but even people that don't have kids, why is it important for them to vote?
Oh, sure, right? I remember your question. I'm like, who here doesn't have kids? So it's not just about my child, right? It's about the child of my neighbor, and it's my family's, right? My sister's children. It's the children in our community, right? If we invest in the education of any child, we're building a better community. We're building a better life for kids. So my vote definitely impacts the life of the neighbor child, right? It impacts all children, regardless, right, of whether or not you have children of your own.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's important.
Absolutely. Go out there and vote, you guys. We need
Yes.
more representation, and I do truly believe you're a great candidate for that, and
Thank you.
I'm excited for you.
Thank you.
To
Thank you
continue
so
the
much.
work, that's
To
been
continue the
started,
work.
and
We have a lot to do.
yeah.
A lot to do. Yes. Y gracias por invitarme. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes,
It's quite the honor. You told me, and like, oh my goodness, are you serious? This is so cool. So I feel very cool right now.
Yeah.
Awesome. Good. Well,
we feel cool for having you here.
Yeah, we wish you all the best, and
Gracias. Muchas gracias.
we're excited to see what else
Yes.
there is to come. And thank you, Maria.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Muchas gracias.
Thank
a
you,
las dos.
everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.